The sound of children at play. In 1896, a train collided with a streetcar in San Antonio, Texas, killing 4 children who were riding on the street. The accident happened at the corner of Houston and St. Mary's Streets, when an eastbound train smashed into the rear of a streetcar that was filled with children returning home from a half-day at school. Accounts say that the train driver had been drinking heavily and fell asleep at the controls, while others said he was simply driving too fast for the condition of the tracks. Whatever the reason, the train slammed into the back of the streetcar, crumpling it like a soda can. 4 children were killed instantly, while several more were injured. It is believed that the spirits of these 4 children are still haunting the area of the train tracks where they died. Some say you can hear the sound of children playing near the tracks or see their ghostly shadows running along the train cars. Others have even reported seeing the actual bodies of the children lying beside the tracks. Many people who live or work around the train tracks in San Antonio believe that the ghosts of these children are real, and some even go so far as to say that they've seen them for themselves. But are these ghost stories just a figment of people's imaginations? Or is there actually something haunting the train tracks in San Antonio? Unfortunately, there's no way to know for sure. But what we do know is that the story of the 4 children who died in the train accident has been passed down from generation to generation, and that story has changed and evolved over time. What we know for certain is that a train did collide with a streetcar in San Antonio, Texas on February 22, 1896. It also appears that 4 children lost their lives in the accident. However, the details surrounding the accident are sketchy at best. Most of what we know comes from newspaper accounts published shortly after the accident occurred, and these accounts often contradict one another. For example, some reports say that the train driver had been drinking heavily before the accident, while others claim that he was sober. Some say the train was going too fast for the poor condition of the tracks, while others claim that the train was traveling at a reasonable speed. What is not in dispute, however, is that the train collided with the back of the street, causing it to crumple and killing 4 children instantly. The 4 children who died in the accident were all between the ages of 7 and 10 years old. They were students at the nearby Travis Street School and were returning home from a half-day of classes when the accident occurred. The children were riding on the streetcar for free, which was a common practice at the time. Streetcars were often overcrowded, and the conductors didn't have the means to enforce a fare system, especially when children were involved. The accident was investigated by the police and a coroner's jury, but no one was ever held responsible. The train driver was cleared of all wrongdoing, and the railroad company was never sued by the families of the victims. It is unclear whether this was because of negligence on the part of the authorities, or whether there was truly no one to blame for the accident. What we don't know. There are many things that we don't know about the train accident that killed 4 children in San Antonio. For example, we don't know the names of all the children who died in the accident. We do know that one of the children was a girl named Susie Cortez, but the other 3 victims were never identified. This is likely because most of the newspaper accounts from the time period misspelled her name, making it difficult to find her grave in the historic Mission Burial Park Cemetery. We also don't know how many children were on the streetcar at the time of the accident. Some reports say that there were only a few children on the streetcar, while others claim that there were dozens of them. If there were that many children on the streetcar, it would explain why the conductor didn't charge them a fare, but it's unclear how such a large group of children would have gone unnoticed by the authorities. Perhaps the most important thing that we do know is whether or not the train driver was at fault for the accident. Was he drunk, as some reports claim, or was he a sober, experienced driver who was doing his best to operate the train safely? We may never know the truth about what happened on that fateful day in 1896. But without answers, people have been left to speculate for more than a century. Speculation and rumors. Over the years, all sorts of speculation and rumors have circulated about the train accident and the supposed ghosts that haunt the train tracks in San Antonio. Some people believe that the train driver was deliberately trying to kill the children on the street. They point to the fact that he was later seen drinking heavily at a local bar as evidence that he was drunk and that he intentionally crashed the train into the streetcar. There is no evidence to support this claim, and it's important to remember that the train driver was never charged with any crime, let alone murder. Others believe that the train driver was simply a victim of circumstance. They argue that he was an experienced driver who was doing his best to navigate the rough terrain of San Antonio's train tracks. But because the tracks were in such poor condition, the train derailed and crashed into the street. This is also just speculation, and there is no evidence to support it. Still, others believe that the train driver was haunted by the accident, and that he took his own life soon after it happened. According to legend, the driver jumped into the river and drowned, rather than face the consequences of his actions. There is no record of the train driver ever taking his own life or even being arrested for the accident, and it seems unlikely that he would have been able to escape the authorities if he had tried. Theories about the ghosts. Some people in San Antonio believe that the train tracks are haunted by the ghosts of the 4 children who died in the 1896 accident. They say that the spirits of the children are angry, and that they seek revenge on those who disturbed their final resting place. It is believed that the ghosts of the children can be seen playing near the tracks or running along the train cars. Some have even reported seeing the actual bodies of the children lying beside the tracks. While there is no evidence to support these claims, they make for interesting stories that are often told around Halloween. No one knows where these ghost stories came from, or why people believe them to be true. Perhaps it is because the accident was so tragic, or because there are so many unanswered questions surrounding it. Whatever the reason, these ghost stories are an important part of San Antonio's folklore. If you want to learn more about this case and others like it, be sure to stay tuned. We keep you up to date on all things paranormal. Conclusion: the death of 4 children in a train accident in San Antonio, Texas is a tragic event that should never have happened. Whether the train driver was drunk or simply inexperienced, there is no excuse for the loss of innocent life. While the ghost stories surrounding the train tracks in San Antonio are likely just that, stories, they serve as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of remembering those who have died. If you visit San Antonio, be sure to take some time to explore the historic downtown area and pay your respects to the children who died in the accident. While their names may have been lost to history, their memory lives on in the hearts and minds of those who tell their stories. So, do you believe that the train tracks in San Antonio are haunted? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.